Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janmalabha Parah Pumsam Ante Narayana Smritihi. So it's a very powerful verse, and I mentioned yesterday that cutting across all Vedic literatures, all the Vedic scriptures unanimously talk about this verse. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Abhyam. So whether we are doing Sankhya, we are studying analytically the difference between matter and spirit, or we are practicing the different angas of yoga, or we are following our Varnashrama Dharma, Swadharma Parinishthaya, Janma Labha Parapumsan. The highest gain or the biggest, the test for our success, the litmus test is if we are able to remember the Lord at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smriti. And it doesn't come easily. It's a very difficult thing to achieve. People think it is okay. Even if I know this, half of the people, maybe 99% of the people don't know that this is the criteria for success at the, to pass the exam of life. But even if people know, they take it lightly. They think that this is easy, I can do it. But it is not easy at all. And some people give this excuse that I'm busy, I've got so many obligations. And we saw this example how a mother keeps the young children, her children, busy with some toys. And so that, she doesn't get distracted and the children are busy playing with the toys. But is the goal of life really to play with the toys? Had the mother's mother been present over there, she would have, if she would have wanted to, keep her child, the mother, engaged, she would not give some toys to play with. But unfortunately, in our life, we get busy with these toys, these little attractions in this material world, and we think that this is the ultimate goal of life. Very surprising thing in life is, even if we are told or we are asked, why don't you try? There are many people who don't want to take it up. They feel this is not the right time. Maybe there is, when life, other priorities are taken care, I'll take care of this thing. And somehow this takes a back seat. But we forget that we don't have a finite answer as to when death is going to come. It can come any moment. It can come tomorrow. And if the plan that we have that, at certain point in time when everything is settled in my life, I will do this, I will take up to this process, we never know. Actually, we are fooling ourselves. That is why it is very important to have something which gives us a guaranteed success. So this fear, what if I fail, can be completely eradicated and removed from our lives if we know that what is the guaranteed success. What is that formula which can give us guaranteed success? And we saw this also yesterday. Etan nirvidyamananam ichhatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripanirnitam harer namanu kirtanam. So, etan nirvidyamananam ichhatam akuto bhayam. Whether you are completely free from all material desires, nirvidyamananam, or your heart is filled with desires, doesn't matter. Etan nirvidyamananam ichhatam akuto bhayam. Yoginam, or whether you are completely satisfied. If you really want the fearless way of achieving that success of Ante Narayana Smriti, if you want to do that, Harer Namanu Kirtanam. Constantly chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all. Yoginam Nripa Nirnitam. This is decided, ascertained. This is a conclusive thing which is told. That if we are able to chant the names of the Lord continuously, when our body and mind and senses are in working condition, we are able to do, there is a guarantee that we will be able to remember the Lord at the time of death. But unfortunately, people take it very, very lightly. They think, okay, I have a lot of time, or I have got a lot of obligations, I've got a lot of other things to do, a lot of priorities, and how will I find time? Very interestingly, I'll read this portion, why this determination in our life is important, and that is what is the whole meaning of this Urja Vrata. Urja means we need that energy in our life, that mercy which comes from Radharani to perform this Kartika Vrata. And there is a very simple example which is given. If you do little change in your life every single day, so let's say this 1 raised to the 365, it remains one only. So somebody who doesn't change anything at all, the whole 365 days a year, he remains the same. But just 0.01, 1% change in life can result in 37.7. Huge difference compared to just a little baby step. Somebody takes this vow or a determination. This is the most auspicious month. This is what the scriptures are telling. Out of some good faith, let me do it. That single determination, that little faith, that little determination can take us very far. So what is this Urja Vrata? This is actually mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion, where it is mentioned that one of the most important of this ceremony functions is called Urja Vrata. Urja Vrata is observed in the month of Kartika, October, November, especially in Vrindavan. There is a specific program for temple worship of the Lord in his Damodara form. Damodar refers to Krishna's being bound with rope by his mother Yashoda. It is said that just as Lord Damodara is very dear to his devotees, so the month known as Damodara or Kartika is also very dear to them. So it's very important. Just as Lord Damodara is very dear to his devotees, so the month known as Damodara or Kartika is also very dear to them. The execution of devotional service during Urja Vrata in the month of Kartik is especially recommended to be performed at Mathura. This system is still followed by many devotees. They go to Mathura or Vrindavan and stay there during the month of Kartik, specifically to perform devotional services during this period. In the Padma Purana it is said, the Lord may offer liberation or material happiness to a devotee, but after some devotional service has been executed, particularly in Mathura during the month of Kartik, the devotees want only to attain pure devotional service unto the Lord. Actually, it is a very rare thing to get the opportunity to engage in devotional service. As it is mentioned, even liberation the Lord doesn't mind giving, or material happiness also he doesn't mind giving, somebody who's asking for it. But to give this opportunity to engage in devotional service, very, very rare, because the Lord gets purchased by that bhakti. The purport is that Lord does not award devotional service to ordinary persons who are not serious about it. That's why you don't find a lot of people coming and congregating here. And some people come, अच्छा इधर 4 लोग हैं, शायद दूसरा वो साई बाबा जाते हैं कहीं और, some other temple where there is less of the discussions from scriptures, more of just some gramya katha, gossip and all is going on. People may like to go there because the Lord also does not give this opportunity, privilege of engaging in devotional service. So the Lord doesn't award devotional service to ordinary persons who are not serious about it. But even such unserious persons who execute devotional service according to the regulative principles during the month of Kartik and within the jurisdiction of Mathura in India are very easily awarded the Lord's personal service. It's a very great benediction. It's a concession which is given. In fact, there is a story which is mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion. There was a small rat and it entered into the altar where there were some wicks which were kept, like the lamp we lit. So the wick was there, and this there is a smell of that ghee which the rat thought that it is a food for him. So it went and it was trying to nibble that wick, trying to get that. And while it was trying to do that, the lamp which was about to get extinguished, because of pushing of that wick by the rat, the lamp got lit. I mean, it was about to get extinguished, but it got pushed. And in the process, this rat got burnt. But the Lord considered, this happened in the month of Kartik, but the Lord considered it as a devotional service rendered by the rat. He took it in that way, and that rat got liberated. So like that, the power of executing devotional service in the month of Kartik is very, very auspicious. But very unfortunate, people in Kali Yuga, they don't know what is the power, what is the significance of that. Lord has made a lot of concession. Simple brata, come to temple or be in your house, offer some ghee lamp, chant this Damodara Ashtakam, take the names of the Lord. If not always, that is not possible. At least this 1 month, some fixed number of vows. Unfortunately, this knowledge is not there, and when we get this knowledge, we don't get that seriousness. That seriousness to take it up also comes by the mercy of a pure devotee. When we come in touch with a pure devotee, when we hear his words, some transformation happens. Otherwise, the alluring energy of Maya is so bewildering, very difficult to come to the right path, very easy to get distracted. So one question one can ask is, where do I get this knowledge? Who is the right source? How do I understand this is the right source and I should follow this path, or I should take up to this path? There's a very beautiful prayer which comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we will chant this verse for today. You can repeat after me. Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam. You can chant nicely. It's a very beautiful prayer. Don't worry about mispronouncing. It's okay. Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam. Adhyatma deepamatitirushatam tamo andham. Samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam. Tam vyasasunamupayami gurum munina. We'll do one more time. Now just you heard once, so you can do it better this time. Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam. Adhyatma deepam atitirushatam tamo andham. Tamo andham. Samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam. Tam vyasasunamupayami gurum munina. See how much of fear we have. What if I chant wrong? Nothing will happen. It's just some chanting. But this chanting of this mantra is so powerful, so cleansing to our heart. We don't know. We really have no idea how I can cleanse my heart. This simple chanting of this mantra, these are not ordinary mantras. They can cleanse our heart. So what this verse is saying, it's a very beautiful verse. This verse comes at the beginning when Suta Goswami is about to answer the questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. He is remembering his spiritual master, and there are some qualities which are mentioned from whom we should hear and what we should hear. We should not hear anything just because somebody is saying something, or just because somebody is giving some reference. We have to be very careful in choosing from whom we are listening and what we are listening. So he is telling, Yasvanubhavam akhila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepamatitirushatam tamo andham samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam tam vyasasunamupayami guru munina. So Yasvanubhavam, the word anubhava. Have you heard of this word anubhav? You're very, very sleepy, Mataji. You can stand. It's 7:30 only. What is anubhav? Experience, okay. Any other word for anubhav? Experience is good. Anything else? Huh? Felt, feeling. Yes, anubhav is basically I have assimilated it. I have experienced it. I myself have gone through that. So somebody who's actually sharing this knowledge must have experienced this, must have assimilated this in life, must have realized. It is not some okay, now today I have to do something, so let me go and search. What should I do on Karthik? Search in Google. Google Guru says, okay, these are the things you have to do, and you prepare and you come and speak. No. Yasvanubhavam. Somebody who has experienced, understood, assimilated this knowledge. Which knowledge is this? Akhila Shruti Saram Ekam. It's a very beautiful expression. Akhila Shruti Saram Ekam. This is referring to actually the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence. All these Vedic literatures, they are very vast. So many different paths are given, so many different obligations, duties, responsibilities are mentioned. It is very, very difficult and confusing. The beginning that the sages are telling, what is that verse? Bhurini bhuri karmani shottavyani vibhagasaha. Yah saram atra yah sadhum yatra at saram samudhritya manishaya bhuri bhadraya bhutanam yenatma suprasidati. Actually, this Vedic literature is very, very confusing. If somebody has got no understanding or clarification or direction, where to go and what to look for, very easy to get confused, because there are so many paths, so many directions. What is it that I have to follow? So that is why it is mentioned, Yas Swanubhavam Akhila Shruti Saharam Ekam. I want that knowledge which is the essence, the Sara of Akhila Shruti, of all the Vedic literatures, that essence. Yas Swanubhavam Akhila Shruti Saharam Ekam. Adhyatma Deepam. Actually, this knowledge, this essence of all the Vedic literatures, that is also known as Adhyatma Deepam. This is the second thing which is mentioned. It should be Akhila Shruti Saram. What you should hear? It should be Akhila Shruti Saram Ekam. What else about that knowledge? It should be Adhyatma Deepam. Adhyatma Deepam means it's a torchlight of spiritual knowledge, and it can eradicate the ignorance of darkness in our heart. You know, you may have so many lights, you can have focus lamp, you can have all these lights, but these lights are not going to eradicate the darkness of ignorance in our heart. But Adhyatma Deepam, when we take the shelter of the spiritual knowledge, that spiritual knowledge can remove the darkness of ignorance. That will remove that fear, which will help us to become fearless in passing that exam of our life. Adhyatma Deepam Atitirshatam Tamovandham. It's a very dark place. It has got all this ignorance. Because of this ignorance, we've got so many other anarthas like lust, anger, greed, pride, then enviousness. All these things are very deeply there. Very difficult to get rid of this. But Adhyatma Deepam Atitirshatam Tamovandham. Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam. Samsarinam. Actually, all of us are stuck in this samsara. Samsara is a cycle of repeated birth and death. That's why we are called samsarina. And it's a very painful thing. This is stuck in the cycle of birth and death is so painful that there is great compassion by the sages. Samsarinam Karunaya. They are saying, out of great compassion, looking at the plight, at the miserable condition of ours, they are having that compassion. Array, oh my God, these people are suffering so much. They should take this knowledge. Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam. This is the most confidential knowledge. This is not some ordinary thing. So this third thing is it's very confidential. Tam Vyasa Sunam Upayami Gurum Muninam. Who is speaking these words? Who is telling this? Who is going to speak or share this knowledge? This is Sukadev Goswami. Who is Sukadev Goswami? Whose son is he? Vyasadev's son. Tam Vyasa Sunam Upayami Gurum Muninam. Actually, Sukadev Goswami was so scared that he was not coming out of the womb of his mother for 16 years. Generally, a baby lives in the mother's womb for 9 months. But he was not coming out for 16 long years. He was scared because this material world is so bewildering, so entangling, that anybody who comes and who's not sure, who's in ignorance, get easily caught in the cycle of birth and death. So he was very scared. He was not coming. The moment he came out of the womb of his mother, he started walking. So he and his father is telling, Putra, Putra, Putra. And he was going in the forest, and there was an echo because there was trees. So when he said Putra, then all the trees were saying Putra, 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 Putra. And then one more time Putra, then again Putra, 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 Putra. But he walked. He didn't look back even. So Vyasadeva, what he did, he sent his disciples with few of the shlokas from Bhagavatam, very choicest shlokas. And they went and recited this in the ears of Sukadev Goswami. And when Sukadev Goswami heard that, he understood, oh my God, Parinishtopi Nairgunye Ya Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Actually, he was fixed in this impersonal Brahman. But when he heard this, his mind, his consciousness got completely changed. And he came back and accepted Vyasadeva as his guru and heard from him. Tam Vyasa Sunam Upayami Gurim Muninam. But interestingly, imagine, you all are coming here and you are hearing some class from us. You are hearing some of us giving some lectures. And one fine day, there is a very important meeting. And in that meeting, you are asked to take the class. And you are sitting here, and in the audience, some of us who are actually giving these classes, we are sitting. Not just we are sitting, even our guru, like Srila Prabhupada, is also sitting. How precarious that situation will be. Somebody who's so senior, from whom we are receiving the knowledge, he's sitting there in the audience. Something similar to this happened When actually Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days' time, Sukadev Goswami, when he walked into that arena, everybody was confused. What is he supposed to do? What advice we are supposed to give? Sukadev Goswami walks in, 16-year-old person, completely naked, not in the bodily concept of life. He goes and sits in the Vyasasana. Everybody, without any objection, they accepted the spiritual elevation of Sukadev Goswami and sat down. And who was there in the audience? Sukadev Goswami's father, Vyasadeva, was there. Not just Vyasadeva, Vyasadev's guru, Narada Muni, also is there. So one of the very important aspect of hearing is people why they feel sleepy often in Bhagavatam class or in any kind of discussion. There is a feeling, there is a sense that we get that we know it. I already know this. What is there to know this in this? I've already heard this. Vyasadeva, Narada Muni are sitting with this view that I don't know. Let me hear this. That is the humility which is required if we want this knowledge to act on us. Without that humility, where I feel that I know everything, okay, I have a Karthik month, I'm aware of it, I have everything I've done, Vrindavan I know, forget about it, that this knowledge is going to transform us. That humility is the sign of somebody who's willing to take that transformation. I can't say that I'm like that. ऐसा ही हूँ मैं, ऐसा ही करता हूँ, बस इतना जितना हुआ होता. I need that humility so that this knowledge can act. That is what is exhibited. Guru Muninam. He became Guru. Upayami Guru Muninam. Actually, Sukadev Goswami is learning this knowledge from Vyasadeva. But he became the Guru of all this Muninam. All these Munis, not just Vyasa and Narad. So many sages have assembled there. He is giving them instruction. So one of the very important thing, in the modern psychology, there is a term that they use that's called Dunning-Kruger effect. Very powerful thing called Dunning-Kruger effect. You don't search now, you can go back and see in the Google. What it says is, there are some people who don't know much, who are really not competent, but they always feel they know everything. So sometimes somebody who fails in the exam, and if their parents ask, how did you fail, or how did you do so miserably? I don't know. I mean, I have prepared everything. God only knows what happened. I've done everything. So this is the less competent men who always feel that they know everything. They are very intelligent. Most of us are actually in that category. Why is spiritual? I know everything. What I'm supposed to do in my life, I'm very well versed with that. But somebody who's actually knowledgeable, who's truly in the knowledge, who's actually situated in the high position, they think that I could have done better. This is not right. I can still improve. They look for opportunities to improvement. But whereas somebody who's less competent, I'm trying to help someone to come here in some religious visa. Sometimes, some people who do not know much, that person, I'm trying to tell him he's not understanding English, he's not understanding Hindi, I'm trying to spend time with him. But still he says, Sab to padh liya hu. I mean, I've read everything. What is there to... still he's not able to answer. But he's not realizing that he's not getting what is being asked. This is called Dunning-Kruger effect. Similarly, in our life, if we feel that we know everything, there is nothing else to be known, that is the beginning of our decline of improvement in spiritual life. That humility is a very important thing which is exhibited in this verse by Vyasadeva and Sukadev Goswami, which is the right mood to understand and imbibe this knowledge. If we want to succeed in that final exam of life, and if we want this knowledge to act in us, then we need that humility. In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is listing the items of knowledge, he says, Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Santirarjavam. Amanitvam stands for, what's the English, what is the translation of Amanitvam? Humility. Humility's translation is Vinaya. Okay, Vinaya, the word V, when it is mixed with Jnana, it becomes Vijnana. It becomes realized knowledge. Whereas if Ahankara, that gets mixed with Jnana, then it becomes Ajnana, ignorance. So the knowledge, theoretical knowledge, if we want that theoretical knowledge to get transformed to realized knowledge, yes, Swanubhavam. If it has to transform to a realized knowledge, we need humility, Vinaya. Vinaya plus Jnana, that becomes Vijnana. But if we have that false ego and we think we know everything, it becomes ajnana. So this is what is the beauty of this verse, where we see whom to take this knowledge from, what should be his quality, and what kind of knowledge. So there are three things which are mentioned about what kind of knowledge. Akhila Shruti Saharam Ekam. This is the essence of all Vedic literatures. First. Second, Adhyatma Deepam. This is a torchlight of spiritual knowledge. Third, Purana Guhyam. This is the most confidential knowledge. This knowledge we should try to acquire in life. And from whom we should take it? We should take it from the person Swanubhavam, who has actually experienced it. This is the first qualification. It's not simply, as I was mentioning, from Google Guru, we type and search and then we find out and then we speak. No, Swanubhavam, who has realized, who has experienced, who has assimilated, who has gone through this, has seen this. Yes, Swanubhavam Akhila Shrutisara Ekam Adhyatmadipam Atitirshatam Tamo Andham Samsarinam Karunaya, and whose heart is filled with unlimited compassion. You see, how many times you see some people who walk into the temple and you tell them, why don't you take up to chanting? How many people really take up to that chanting? Very, very few. So somebody who realizes how difficult, how unfortunate these people, should he give up? No, no. Actually, we should still continue. We should still have that compassion. Oh no, this person is so foolish, so ignorant. He is not knowing what is the real benefit for him. Still continuing to go through this struggle for material existence. He can bring a complete cessation. That compassion one should have. Samsarinam karunaya. People are not there, not coming. Somebody is disrespecting. Forget about it. Doesn't matter. I should have that compassion. No, no, this person who is suffering, let me help him. Samsarinam karunaya. This is the second one. Purana guhyam tam vyasa sunam upayami guru muninam. And this, in this last sentence, guru muninam, the secret of understanding this knowledge of Bhagavatam, the humility, is very nicely explained. If we have these three things, Swanubhavam, Karunayaha, and humility, Guru Muninam, and if we take this knowledge, which is Akhila Shrutisara Ekam, which is Adhyatma Deepam and Purana Guhyam, then this knowledge will act. It will penetrate the layers of ignorance. It will touch the soul, which is hankering, which is looking for that direction, which is looking, how will I go back to Krishna? And we are struggling. Instead of going to Krishna in the name of looking for happiness, Krishna being the source of all happiness, we are stuck in this material world and accepting bodies after bodies, bodies after bodies, without realizing that one day this body will come to an end. Idam sariram parinama peshalam. Idam sariram parinama peshalam patati avasyam satasandhi jarjaram. This body is, it's a matter of time when it will fall. It will become old and it will become diseased and dilapidated, and it will fall. But we are thinking with this body we will continue and we will maintain. But this body is subjected to so many changes. We don't know what to do with this. And many of the changes that the body goes through are irreversible. You can't reverse it. Something happens, something wrong. You have some disease or something, and some part of the body goes, some problem. You can't change it. You can't bring it back. And one day, patati avasyam satasandhi jarjaram. This will fall down. But we are not worried about the time that we have, and we are not utilizing. We are still delaying. We are still taking it lightly. At least this 1 month, Karthik, let us become serious. Let us take advantage of a temple which is close to us. Come together and chant this, beautiful Damodarashtakam. Absorb us. Forget about who's coming, who's not. My life. Let me take charge. Let me take control of my life. I should not look at, okay, he's not there, that fellow is not there. Forget about them. Don't worry. It's our life which we have to take care, and this life is a rare gift which has been given to us. If we misuse this, if the opportunity is lost, whom should we go and tell that I had time? Somebody was telling me, but at that time I was callous. Who will listen to us? So with that thought, we'll stop here, and now we will have Damodarashtakam. Please come and participate in this wonderful Karthik month and take advantage. Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.